Hi! So I apologize again that it's been kind of a long time since the last time you heard from me. Once again, it was literally because I had nothing to say. Um, Last thing you guys heard was that I had gotten an email about doing a callback for the online submission, and I'd literally heard nothing. And people were getting yeses, people were getting no's. So I was like, okay, well, obviously they'll tell me if it's a no. And I literally heard nothing. And it was driving me nuts. And for those of you who don't know, I get married in about a month and a half. I graduate from school in about 2 weeks. And I didn't know where I was moving, where I should tell my soon to be husband where to. Whoop, I don't have my ring on. I'm gonna get in trouble. I was like, I feel naked for some reason. Okay, that's why. I didn't know where to tell him that we would need to be moving, and it was awful. It was awful. So I just kept praying, and I'm not good at waiting and being patient. So this has been the most excruciating 2 months of my life, but I literally heard nothing. So I decided a couple weeks ago, I was praying about it, and I decided that I was going to drive down to Orlando. Unfortunately, it would probably mean that I basically had to re-audition, but that I was going to talk to somebody and say, hey, this is where I am. What can I do for you that would help you give me a yes or no? Because at this point, I just want an answer. Like, I just need to know because I've been hanging here for a while. So that's what I did on Thursday. Today is Saturday. On Thursday, I drove down. I left at about 4 in the morning. My friend was so lovely enough to go with me. So we drove down to Orlando and I went to one of their auditions. And it was a little bit insane and it was intimidating because I felt like I'd come so far. Sorry, my nose is really itchy. I'm trying out a new makeup, so maybe that's like, I don't know, maybe I got it in my nose or something. Anyway, so it was disheartening. There was about 400 people at the audition, and I was like, I'm redoing this. I've done this so many times, and I feel like I came so far, but yet I'm like having to do it again. And actually, one of my lovely subscribers on here had messaged me and said, I have some questions. I'm going to an audition next week. And turns out we were going to the same one. So we got to meet each other and it was lovely and I love her very much. And we went to downtown Disney and it was so much fun. But regardless, it was a regular audition. It was stressful, but there were so many people and it was hard to literally feel like, you were kind of in the same spot again and that like you didn't have any advantage over anybody else because even if you came so far, now there's 400 other people that, well, now, So basically re-auditioned, started from scratch again. And I can't tell you a whole lot about what happened, but I did want to update you guys that I hadn't heard anything, but that I went down there, re-auditioned, and Thursday was the most magical day of my life up until this point. I will have an answer, apparently a definite yes or no within 2 weeks, which is good. It's good to know that, like, I'll know, like, whatever it is. And regardless of the answer, I feel like I can die happy at this point. It was an incredibly magical audition. I got further in that audition than I've ever gotten in my life, and they were very surprised that I'd never made it this far. They were like, you even worked here? And you haven't gone this far? And I was like, no. They're like, you never gotten to the face part of it? And I was like, no, it's always fair. But it was amazing. I got to become acquainted with a very beautiful fairy, and it was lovely. And it's hard. You don't know what they're looking for. It literally could be your shoulders that they don't like. I mean, you never know. And I have a very different attitude than I thought I would. I thought I'd be like, oh my gosh, if I don't get it, I'd be so upset. And even though, of course, obviously, um, I would love to be hired, but uh, it was just so magical that like I'm happy with that, and I'm happy knowing that you know it was lovely. It was a long audition. I was there for like 4 hours, sitting. Um, Unfortunately, can't go into a lot of detail other than that it was lovely. But I did buy myself a little souvenir of the day, which is funny because I'm like so broke. I literally, like, my friend and I drove there, auditioned, and poor her, she sat in the waiting room for like 4 hours, and then we went to downtown Disney and looked around, and then we drove 4 hours back home. So poor her. But I did get myself a little souvenir at World of Disney, and it's like a little clutch purse, and it says "Little Green Dress," and it's really cute. I told myself that if I got to the point that I did, that I would buy myself a little souvenir, and I always told myself that like 3 years ago at my first Disney audition. I told myself that if I got that far, I would buy myself the Mickey Mouse ears that look like Tinkerbell. And so I was like finally pumped that like 3 years later I could go get those ears. And I went, they were like, oh, we don't have those anymore. And I'm like, you had them like 6 months ago when I came to Epcot. So I had to get myself another Tinkerbell piece of merchandise. So yeah, I thought this was appropriate for the day that I had. And I think it's really cute. So I'm excited to use that. But yeah, I mean, you guys have been so sweet and asking and inquiring, and I felt bad because like I literally had nothing to say. I was like, I haven't heard anything. Like, not a yes, not a no. It wasn't like I got a no and I was like, I'm so embarrassed. I can't tell everybody that I wasn't tired. But no, like I literally had heard nothing. So I marched my little self down there and sucked it up and re-auditioned, um, and it was lovely. Um, yeah, it was really good. Like I didn't cry. I thought I would cry, but I didn't cry. And I haven't cried yet. Like I got teary at one point. I was talking to my mom on the phone, and she was in TJ Maxx, of course. So she was like, "Well, call your dad. He's in the car." I was like, "Dad's not gonna want to like." He's not gonna hear these details about how beautiful I felt. I mean, like, I'm sure he cared, but um, so yeah, so I'll know within 2 weeks, which is good because I graduate in 2 weeks, and it'll be good to know. Um, at this point, though, it looks like my fiance and I will be moving to Orlando anyway, just because there is a hope of getting, a steady paycheck in the field that I like, rather than if I move to Atlanta with a film degree, you know, I'll be working freelance, which is fine, but when we're first starting out as a married couple, we would like to have kind of a foundation of a steady income. So it looks like we'll be heading to Orlando anyway. So if it's a no, I guess I'll just keep showing up until hopefully one day it's a yes. But yeah, just wanted to update you guys on that the online submission, I don't know what happened with that because then it turned into another audition, but that it went lovely, and of course I will be ecstatic if I get it, but at this point I'm very content with how it went anyway, and it was just magical. Yeah, it was it was just really exciting. So yeah, keep you guys updated. Unfortunately, this kind of goes back to when I was working at Disney. There's just not a lot I can say. But you guys are so lovely anyway that I'm sure you'll just be happy because I'm happy. And it was so much fun because somebody who watches my videos, I got to meet. And then, of course, every time now that I go to an audition, people are like, oh, I watch your videos. And I'm like, that's weird. Like, it's weird because I feel like they know a little bit more about me than I know about them. And I'm always like, I feel so weird. Like, I forget that people like watch me. And like I've said before, I like upload these videos and I never watch them again. And so like I forget what I've said. And I'm like, have I done something embarrassing that they like know about me? I'm like, I don't know. But yes, I've done a lot of rambling in this, but it's because I'm excited. So, yeah, hopefully they stick true to that deadline of 2 weeks, which is good because they never gave me a deadline before. So it means I'll definitely hear something. So it was fun. Hopefully it's my last audition that I've been to. But if not, I think I got far enough in this that like hopefully I can keep going and trying out. So thank you guys for all of your sweet messages, and hopefully I'll have some good news.